Radio Wa in Wa, Kekeli Radio in Ho, Clenham Radio in Bato, and A1 Radio in Bolgatanga. For our digital outlets, it includes the myjoyonline.com app and Spotify. In this edition, Red Friday, as some Ghanaians hit the streets of Accra and Sunyani in separate protests over roads, living conditions, and stored projects, among others.
When it rains, our road will be flooded. When you go to Agape Station, when it rains, people cannot go to their houses. Cars cannot move.
We'll be live on the ground at Agape here in Accra and Sunyani in the Bono region for updates from our reporters.
For the government to ignore us because we are part of Ghana. So we need the government attention to look at Sunyani precisely.
Also in this bulletin,
I will not set aside due process in the fight against corruption, no matter how much opprobrium this incurs for me.
That's President Akufo-Addo vowing not to set aside due process in fighting corruption as he fights off claims he has been unduly clearing his appointees.
There are some who refuse to accept my method of proceeding and have characterized me as a clearing agent, because for them, the mere allegation without more is enough to merit condemnation of the public official, even though they did not apply this principle when they were in office.
We have more from an ongoing national conference on anti-corruption in sports.
Ghana's Richard Kome comes up against Vasily Lomachenko tomorrow for an opportunity to fight for another world title. The former IBF lightweight champion has been speaking to Joyce about what this fight means to him.
And much later, we ask how difficult or easy is it to tell your friend, colleague or partner he or she has a body or mouth odor.
Boys, I just call him and say, Charlie, you know what? There is this thing that I've discovered. When you spit, this scent that's coming from your mouth, I think you need to work on it.
Just go and buy deodorant, perfumes and such things, and then make it as a gift. An intelligent woman will get to know that, look, probably that might be the reason.
We have that and more in this edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. I am Emefa Apau. Please stay for details. This afternoon, we hear sounds of angry residents at Agape in the Ga, central municipality of the Greater Accra region, as they hit the streets today demanding the immediate construction of their roads. Deep gullies and ending potholes and the absence of drains have made the roads there simply unmotorable. The residents blame this on years of failed government promises, but this afternoon they say enough is enough. They want the roads fixed and now.
We have promised that our road will be fixed. The use of Agape, we're giving less than 1 year. They promised that, they said now with us, promised that less than 1 year our road will be fixed. We voted massively for them. During Ayoko Bocha's time, over 20 years, she became foreign minister. Kisi is now in power. Nothing has been done over this road. Just 3 days ago, we thought that we would be demonstrating against them. They now brought rocks. That when it rains, our road will be flooded. When you go to Agape Station, when it rains, people cannot go to their houses. Cars cannot move. Therefore, they never plan for them to do the road. Though. The road, they never go do it. I swear, if you get us 20 years, they never go do it.
Now, my you dancing. And to me, put on the shock where the my why you got that, why you thought it money upon it, Bonnie Bay, if I'm with Joy, if I'm with Joy, and never not one. Yes, yeah, Joy of Feminu, I thought never not be Bonnie Bay, yeah, Pouch on another, yeah, Pouch away.
Some residents there of Agape, and my colleague Manuel Koranteng covered that demonstration. He's been walking several kilometers. Joins us on the line. Manuel, so apart from even this protest from the residents, it appears that commercial drivers there have also refused to work. Give us the details.
Also, MFR, right after the demonstration ended just a short while ago, the taxi drivers who actually chauffeur the residents from the junction up into the community say they are also embarking on a sit-down strike. They say they are incensed this afternoon and they don't think that they are in a right frame of mind to continue driving. And so they've packed their vehicles, leaving some of the residents there stranded.
Demonstration
So what you just heard him say in Chi is that they are the drivers who actually ply the roads and actually, carry and chauffeur the residents here from the junction all the way into the community in there. For now, they are giving government 3 months to come and fix the route.
We are very angry. That is why we are not going to work today. If we work today and there's an accident, it's going to worry us. So none of the taxis here are going to move. As for today, no one is moving any taxi over here. We don't care what will happen.
So some drivers there you interacted with, Manuel, but did this demonstration stay just in the media or a petition was presented to someone?
Yes, MFR, there was a petition that was presented by the demonstrators to the Municipal Chief Executive for the Gas Central area, the Honorable Mohammed Bashiru. They say that giving the years of failed promises, this is for them a binding commitment between themselves and then the MCE, who says that the routes are going to be fixed.
I am not giving them several promises. I'm telling them that the work has started on the road. It's not about promise. It's about reality. It's about actuals. You see heaps of gravel. I don't know what they are talking about that in the past. They attempted and such a similar thing was done. I don't know. I'm not aware. What I know is that we are committed to ensure that the roads are more traveled. Agape has been awarded the contract.
Well, so as we were speaking, was the MC, the Honorable Mohammed Bashiru, is being put away just as we were speaking to him. And now what we are seeing and hearing is people here rooting for him and asking that he gets away by.
So that's the situation in Agape, as you heard my colleague Manuel Koranteng report. We'll head to the Bono region now, where hundreds of Sinyain residents there are also demanding that poor roads, stalled airport rehabilitation, abandoned library project, water system, among others, that are affecting the development of Sinyain and the Bono region are fixed. Listen to some of them.
Our lighting system, our markets, our libraries, the park, our stadium, we need a new stadium. We don't want a renovation of the nation park to be a stadium. We need a nation park. We also need a different place as the stadium. So we need all these things. And our road, the road system is very bad to the center. The improvement of Sunyani is getting lower and lower. We believe that if our roads are better, there will be lots of investment and other things in Sunyani. Without the proper road, people fear to come to Sunyani to invest here. But if the roads are very well and very good, our airport is even bad that as for now we can't travel. The flights cannot just take place at Sunyani Airport. We need all these things here. And we see that the government is ignoring us. And we think it's very bad for the government to ignore us because we are part of Ghana. So we need the government attention.
Residents of Sunyang in the Bono region, Precious Semevoh is our man on the ground. He joins us with the latest. Precious, what's the situation where you are now?
Yeah, so MFA, the demonstration is over, a peaceful one for that matter. The conveners, strangely, did not present their petition to the political heads or other authorities. They went straight to the Bono Regional House of Chiefs, where they presented their petition, and it was received by the deputy or the vice of the house, Kuchiridom Sechiako II, the paramount chief of trouble. Now, as to why they did that, they said several communications between themselves and the other political heads yielded nothing. They are not even sure they go to the destination that they expected. And they are trusting that the traditional leaders will ensure that they engage the president to have their attention. Now, the conveners are saying that beyond this, if they don't hear anything, it's going to be a spontaneous demonstration across the Bono region. And they are hoping that all these projects will be done. And then let me put this on record that all these demonstrations and agitations were triggered by the finance minister's announcement that the Sunyani Coronation Park is going to be renovated. That is what triggered all this. The insistence is that they want a new stadium coupled with their road, their water system, and all the other projects that Sunyani, they believe, and the Bono region as a large deserves the national cake. They should also have their share.
So that's my colleague Precious Semevoh there reporting from the Bono region where there was another protest. We've also been to Agape where residents are calling for their roads to be fixed. But let's turn our attention to politics now and issues about corruption, because President Akufo-Addo has vowed not to set aside due process in fighting corruption. As he fights off claims, he has been unduly clearing his appointees. Speaking at an ongoing national conference on anti-corruption in Accra, the president notes that no evidence of wrongdoing is established.
There are some who refuse to accept my method of proceeding and have characterized me as a clearing agent. Because for them, the mere allegation without more is enough to merit condemnation of the public official, even though they did not apply this principle when they were in office. For my part, I will not set aside due process in the fight against corruption, no matter how much opprobrium this incurs for me. Ladies and gentlemen, with a clear understanding that corruption thrives in an atmosphere conducive to its concealment, and that access to information is a vital tool in the fight against corruption, my government in its first term ensure the passage of the Right of Information Act 2019, Act 989, in order to give true meaning and effect to Article 21, Clause 1, Subclause F of the Constitution. The Act, which successive governments had failed to pass, sees to the implementation of the constitutional right to information held by a public institution to foster a culture of transparency and accountability in public affairs, subject to exemptions necessary and consistent with the protection of the public interest in a democratic society. The Act is being implemented fully now.
President Akufo-Addo there. Well, Supreme Court Judge Joy99.7FM says the judiciary is developing a code of conduct procedure for judges and staff of the judicial service. He's confident implementation of such document will help the judiciary take a lead role in the fight against corruption.
Undoubtedly, our right to expect that with the adoption of NACAP, corruption would have been brought under significant control, that the judicial service is a key partner in the fight against corruption. By Article 1255 of the Constitution, the judiciary is given the jurisdiction in all matters, civil and criminal, including matters relating to the Constitution and such other jurisdictions as Parliament may by law confer on it. Thus, the judiciary is clothed with a jurisdiction to adjudicate corruption and other criminal cases prosecuted before the courts and to punish those found guilty.
That's Supreme Court Judge Joy99.7FM. My colleague Elton Brobbey is at that anti-corruption conference here in Accra, joins us live with more. Elton, I know that the president has also been outlining the various interventions that he's deployed under this government to deal with corruption decisively. Walk us through them.
So he's been on the issue of corruption in the last 35 minutes, and he's spoken about the fact that his government perhaps has allocated more money to the public sector accountability institutions like the police, Raj, Parliament, the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And for him, no government has done what he's done. So in terms of resourcing them to do their work, he is of the view that his government has been unprecedented in the release of budgetary allocations to them. He's also mentioned the fact that digitization of the economy is helping to improve transparency, efficiency in public sector management, also helping to eliminate corruption. But he says that existing legislation that is providing some kind of checks on the part of public sector workers in the issue of corruption.
Charity, they say, begins at home. And that is why so far, every single alleged act of corruption leveled against any of my appointees has been investigated by independent bodies such as SRAJ, in some cases by Parliament itself. It is not my job to clear or convict any person accused of wrongdoing or of engaging in acts of corruption. That is the job of the courts. My job is to act on allegations of corruption by referring the issue or issues to the proper investigative agencies for the relevant inquiry and necessary action, including, if required, the suspension of the affected official pending the conclusion of investigations. That is exactly what has been done since I assumed the mantle of national leadership on 7th January 2017.
Well, Elton, apart from the president and the Supreme Court judge, we know that the deputy commissioner with SRAJ, Richard Kwesing, has also been speaking. Amongst others, it appears he's unhappy with some state institutions. What exactly is the concern?
Well, so he just presented a paper on the state of corruption in the country. And he indicated that some state institutions are expected to provide quarterly reports on the state of corruption, how they are dealing with it in their various areas, but they are not doing that. But he went on to say that they have published Ghana Living Standard Survey, and according to the findings, 44% of Ghanaians said that they've never had to pay additional money to government officials before getting things done. However, 18% said they continually pay bribes to public sector workers before getting things done. He's still on these things, on the state of Ghana's corruption situation. I'm sure that in subsequent bulletin we'll get a true picture of how things are looking like.
Thank you very much. That's our presidential affairs correspondent, Elton Brobbey there. Well, yesterday, the issue of which administration has fought corruption better took center stage in Parliament. The minority MPs held the view that government has failed in its quest to eradicate corruption, whilst the majority MPs argued that government has adopted, among others, technology to fight the canker. Here's what transpired.
Whilst we seem to be talking a lot, still not much is being seen by institutions that we have all agreed that measure corruption in our various countries in our part of the world. What it means is therefore that we need to do more.
Between 2015 and 2016, the index actually increased by 8.5%, about 2% higher than between 2019 and 2020. So we are talking about the readiness and the preparedness and the political will to fighting corruption, because no one on earth can eradicate corruption thoroughly. It's not possible. Even Jesus Christ, the 12 disciples, we have Judas.
Well, one of the MPs whose contribution got his colleagues laughing was Inshai's MP, Dr. Stephen Amwa. Listen to what he had to say.
So, Mr. Speaker, what we are saying is that we agree together. We want to fight corruption, but in the attempt, some are doing better and some are doing better. However, whether we are doing 1% or 2%, all the regimes, whether NDC regime or MPP regime, corruption has been extremely inimical, dysfunctional, and it has given rise to a lot of higgledy-piggledy, mango, and then abracadabra.
So, why did he decide to use what some may call unfamiliar words? You've heard higgledy-piggledy, mango, and abracadabra. He explains why.
I use those words, higgledy-piggledy, mambo-jumbo, and abracadabra, because they all, you can say I'm fed up with the mambo-jumbo and abracadabra. These are all vocabularies, and I think I use them in the right context. And sometimes you need to spice the debate. Mambo-jumbo and the abracadabra. It's said.
And higgledy-piggledy can also be used in that context. So I was trying to say that we should bury this orderliness, this debate, this argument, this confusion. They just came. I didn't decide. I was just flowing, and sometimes you need to spice the debate. It's not all the time that Parliament should be so serious. Argument is like we are fighting. No, and they were all happy and they were excited, and everyone. And I think we all got relieved.
So let's stay on corruption issues a while longer, because investigative journalist Manasseh Azuri-Awene has been selected as the Integrity Person of the Year. He was selected amongst 5 others, including Noftong MP Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa and host of Newsfile Samson Ladi Anyenene by anti-graft agency the Ghana Integrity Initiative at an awards ceremony held yesterday. Manasseh has been speaking to Joy News about the recognition.
It feels very great, very humbling, and also challenging to be selected as the Integrity Personality of the Year, because beyond celebrating what you've done in the past, it also places a lot of burden, some standards on you going forward. So that's how I feel. Recognitions such as this come as boosters to the fight against corruption. Fighting corruption is sometimes like a very thankless job.
That's Manasseh Azuri-Awene there, Integrity Person of the Year. Just before we go for the break, let me take you to Kumasi and this issue about the wife of this professor at the KNUST that has gone missing, rodeling for some time now. The matter came up in court today, and my colleague Ohiming Teria has been interacting with some of her former colleagues.
We really miss our sister Rhoda, and we are keenly following the proceedings. I only plead with the authorities to expedite action on the investigations so that whatever the issues are, the perpetrators will be brought to book. For now, we'll wait and see what happened on the 24th when we all gather here again. You can see from my face, I'm disappointed, I'm sad that this case is prolonging, but we are following the proceeding keenly. I only plead that the investigation should be expedited.
So that's the Institute of Surveillance leader, Mr. Amaglo there. My colleague Ohiming Terry of our security desk has been following the story. He was in court today as well. Ohiming, tell us what transpired.
Yes, MFR. Dr. Afos Agri, the accused person, was conspicuously missing in court today, except that his lawyers were present. Prosecutors told the court that because the Attorney General's office had served notice, they want to take over prosecutorial duties. They were expecting the Attorney General to be in court, but today the Attorney General's office were also absent. So the court adjourned proceedings to December 24th, 2021. MFR.
That's my colleague Ohiming Terry bringing us up to speed on that particular issue, taking us for a quick break here on the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. We're also live on Radio Wa in Wa, Radio Fumbisi in Fumbisi, and Radio Justice in Tamale. Our top stories, we've been talking about some Ghanaians in part of Accra and Sinai hitting the streets in separate protests over roads, living conditions, and stored projects, among others. We've been hearing from President Akufo-Addo, who is vowing not to set aside due process in fighting corruption as he fights off the clearing agent tag. When we return from the break, we have sports and find out how difficult or easy it is for you to tell your friend, your colleague, or partner if she has a body odor.
Boys, I just call you message. Charlie, you know what? There is this thing that I've discovered. When you spit, this scent that's coming from your mouth, I think you need to work on it.
Just go and buy deodorant, perfumes, and such things, and then make it as a gift. An intelligent woman will get to know that, look, probably that might be the reason.
Many thanks for your company and choosing the best as well. Let's do sports.
Ghana's Richard Kome has set sights on winning another world title. The former IBF lightweight champion will fight Vasily Lomachenko for an opportunity to contest another title. And he tells Joy Sports the time is now.
I mean, like you said, this fight is for number one spot, and whoever wins that fight is going to fight for the world. So it's very important to go in there and do what you got to do to win this fight. And I've always, I want to be a champion, world champion again. So, you know what I mean? It's not it. I mean, it is what it is. I got to do there and do what I got to do and put out the performance. Give my all, and then whatever happens, so be it.
Richard Kome, and the fight will be happening tomorrow at 4 a.m.
And I can't wait to hear more from Hans Mensanda. Okay. Now, it served not only children of police officials, but the Tesano and Abeka areas. But for years, the police depot cluster of schools has been in extremely bad shape. The classrooms were dilapidated and the existing structures had no modern washrooms. But today, telecom giant MTN has changed the story. Through its MTN Foundation, the company has handed over a brand new 24-unit classroom structure with modern facilities from kindergarten to junior high school. CEO of MTN Ghana, Selom Adadevo, who handed over the facility to the police administration, said this was part of the efforts of MTN to help the societies within which they operate.
It's refreshing for us and rewarding to see the smiles and on the faces of the children after waiting so long for this new facility to be completed. I'm guessing that the fact that the students can't keep quiet is a sign of their excitement for this facility. The new facility would ease the current pressure on the school and the students from the catchment area and will provide a more comfortable learning environment for teaching and learning. What will bring even more pride to us at MTN is if we see a massive improvement in the results of the children and their general well-being as a result of this investment. Ladies and gentlemen, it would interest you to know that this handing over ceremony is happening in a year that coincides with MTN Ghana's 25th anniversary celebration.
Well, speaking on behalf of the IGP, Director General in charge of Services, COP George Alexander Mensah, expressed gratitude to MTN Ghana. He indicated that the police administration will definitely put the facility to good use.
This gesture from you is worthy of emulation, and I wish to state that you have demonstrated this long-standing commitment to the principle of shared responsibility. It is our fervent hope. It is our fervent hope that other institutions in the country will emulate this shining example. Our sincere thanks also goes to others who might have contributed in diverse ways to ensure the construction and completion of this project. I urge all staff and management of this school to keep the edifice clean as we find it today and ensure that the facilities are well maintained effectively. And now, let me promise that the police administration can assure the MTN that we will make sure that this facility is maintained. And once again, want to thank MTN for this kind gesture.
So that's the Director General in charge of Services of the Ghana Police Services, COP George Alexander Mensah there. My colleague Kweku Asante was there for us. And Kweku, I'm sure this is definitely an exemplary act on behalf of MTN Ghana to the Ghana Police Service. What has been the reaction to this from residents, children, and the police service as well?
All right, MFA, it's a tale of two worlds here. You look at the old facility with cracks, built in the pre-colonial period, and you look at this 24-unit classroom block that MTN has constructed at the cost of $3.5 million. Residents, students, and teachers are expressing gratitude to the company. They said this would definitely impact the results of the school, and they want more people to come in. One important aspect of this is that it's going to be able to open up the school for more people in the community to come in. And so members of the community who were present there expressed so much gratitude to MTN for gifting them that ultra-modern building.
That's my colleague Kweku Asante there reporting from Abeka. Many thanks once again to MTN and happy anniversary as well. Now gather around for this big question. Your colleague at work or partner or friend has a mouth or body odor. I'm talking about the very serious one. Would you tell them, and how would you go about it? Well, callers on the Super Morning Show have been sharing their thoughts.
I never worked with somebody that has the mouth odor. One day, boys, I just call him and say, Charlie, you know what? There is this thing that I've discovered, that when you spit, there is this scent that's coming from your mouth. I think you need to work on it because we are climbing the corporate ladder. And from then on, we all found solution as to what we should be doing. And he was always having gum in his mouth, He used the word smart and things like that. So it is the way you handle it.
Since you're so close to the person, you can use some subtle way. Just go in, buy deodorant, perfumes and such things, and then make it as a gift. An intelligent woman will get to know that, look, probably that might be the reason. Right. And if you will start using it, you can then lead to the next step, telling her, this might be some of the things that we might be facing, but as a friend, that I'm interested in you, I want both of us probably see one guy that more or less I'm close to. Lady will very much love this. But if you decide to go boom, you have this tension on you, please, she will hate you forever.
Yeah. I think you have to do something about it.
Aren't you worried about how they might react?
We are human. We are different the way we handle our cases. So you might say, but if you are a good person, you know that this person has been honest with you.
Well, so that's how you go about it. And make sure you tell them, do them a favor and tell them about it. That's all for today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news also when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Ghana Health Service reviews COVID-19 protocols for international travelers. Also, South Korea expands entry ban to Ghana. One other African country. That and more on myjoyonline.com. And for this weekend, we have a lot in store for you here at Joy News, Joy FM. We are starting with the High Life Party at the Labadi Beach Hotel tonight. We have the Weekend City Show and Personality Profile with Aisha Ibrahim is on tonight. News File tomorrow morning and the Probe on Sunday evening. Catch me on it. I am Semevoh Pau. Have a good afternoon.
When you want it, just move on it. When you tire